Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nicolás Maduro's army. I know that many of you must be thinking that this is a joke, that this is staged. But no, it's completely real. And the worst part is that this was published by the Chavista regime itself. I mean, these are the military trainings. This is Venezuela's show of force against the United States. It seems like a joke. I ask all of you, how do you think this woman is going to fight the United States? What is she going to do? Will she give McDonald's hamburgers to the soldiers? It's unbelievable, and they want to sell us the idea that this will be the new Vietnam. What a shame, really. Honestly, with this, Venezuela doesn't stand a chance against the United States Army. But, you know, I have a theory that both Nicolás Maduro and the rest of the members of the Cartel of the Suns are aware of that. They know these people clearly can't fight the United States. And actually, the message they're trying to send by showing these videos is different. Very different from what people imagine. I think the goal of Nicolás Maduro and the Chavista regime is to use these people as cannon fodder to play the victim in case the United States carries out a military action inside Venezuelan territory. To say, oh, they're attacking civilians. Look at this poor lady who can barely hold a weapon. These are the poor individuals fighting against the United States. How inhumane Trump is. That's what they plan to do. Honestly, that's what I think they're trying to do. But please pay attention to the words of the criminal Diosdado Cabello.
Because when it comes to loving our country, there is no room for anyone to be left out. No, here we invite everyone and all Venezuelan men and women, no matter their political color, should join. The key is that they love and are ready to defend the homeland. And we have found a huge number of Venezuelans all over the country, far and wide, who have been expressing this.
Of course, obviously, there are people who respond to all this with things like, they also laughed at the Vietnamese, they said they were just rice farmers, but look at what they did to the Yankees. Seriously, this is obviously an extremely ignorant comment. And here they say it, are you really going to compare the Vietnamese true ancestral warriors with this here? I mean, just imagine this. It's incredible. I mean, it's simply ridiculous. It's absurd. Look, before Vietnam fought against the United States, they had already humiliated the dynasty of Genghis Khan 3 times. They had already defeated the French and humiliated them in a brutal way. So, they were already warriors and natural-born fighters. They had already developed a fighting and combat system that made them both invincible and invisible. And pay attention to that word, because it's not a minor detail, since it turns out that American soldiers used to call the Vietnamese the ghosts. Imagine the ghosts. They'd appear out of nowhere like they didn't exist, then suddenly bullets rain down from everywhere. Just imagine the level of craziness. So yeah, obviously you can't compare the Vietnamese with this lady who's just working at McDonald's, honestly. Also, another thing. Before the United States started the Vietnam War, they had already warned the United States, be careful, these guys are experts, these guys are professionals. It's not going to be a child's play. No. What's about to happen here will be a war like they've never seen. Just look at what happened. We all know the rest of the story, but the reality is that Vietnam had 2 things in its favor. 2 things that Venezuela doesn't have. One is the total support of the people. I mean, the Vietnamese people were committed to fighting against the United States. And the second point, which I consider quite important, is that war was more than 50 years ago. That is, United States military weaponry was not as developed as it is today. I'll be honest, Nicolás Maduro's narco regime has no chance of defeating the United States. And they know it because look at this.
Forward, towards Trump, over there, where Trump is.
We'll wait here quietly so they learn respect since this is a democratic and free country. And here, even the women are going to come out and shoot to fire as well. If I have to take a helicopter, I'll take it too. So he can see that here we're ready for anything, without fear.
Here I am getting ready for whatever comes. because we as Venezuelans are not going to allow any government from the United States to come and invade our country.
That's what's important, that they get familiar with the weapons.
Okay, we aim at the target, we make the impact.
And then we look for a comfortable way to get up.
Well, right now I'm training to get ready. In case they come over here to Venezuela, we have a way to respond. If they come here, let them find us ready for the attack.
I think I've seen that last woman before. I mean, I don't know. I think I've seen her face in some other reaction from the Venezuelan regime. But anyway, I'm asking you the question. Objectively speaking, do you think those people could fight and take on the United States Army? We all know the answer here. It doesn't even matter if you're a fan of Nicolás Maduro. We all know the answer here. They can't fight the United States Army. Obviously, each and every one of them would be eliminated. That's why I think Nicolás Maduro uses these people both to play the victim and maybe to avoid a military invasion by the United States, making Trump, I don't know, feel pity or compassion for these poor old folks. That's what I think Nicolás Maduro is trying to do. Let's remember that a few weeks ago, Nicolás Maduro sent a letter begging Trump, please, let's talk. There's no problem between us. We can negotiate. Imagine if Nicolás Maduro did that. Therefore, it's pretty obvious and evident that they are very desperate and that there's a lot of panic among the Chavista leadership. But anyway, here someone comments, the 1,000 elderly Chavistas say they will defeat Donald Trump and the American empire by fighting them with weapons in hand. These Chavistas will only kill the Marines, but with laughter. What do you want me to say? That's the harsh reality. It sounds horrible, but yes. Obviously, these people can't fight against the Americans. But anyway, here they keep showing us Vladimir Padrino Lopez, who's another criminal, attending this show of strength and power, which, by the way, looked like this. Let's see how they filled Caracas, Venezuela with their tanks. Just look at that.
We're going out to the streets to meet the people of Venezuela. We are writing good doctrine.
Good doctrine in their old tanks.
Revolutionary doctrine based on the union of the people, the military, and the police. So we go there with the communes, the communal circuits, so that they can also feel our support.
See? They're desperate. The Chavista regime is truly panicking. Look, I know that here we are discussing whether the United States is going to invade or not. It's very easy for us to discuss it, but these people must really be in total panic. They know if the United States intervenes, their life is over. It's that simple. This situation must have them extremely terrified and distressed. Completely sure. But look, they deserve it. They're criminals.
Our brotherhood and our solidarity in the face of the criminal aggression of North American imperialism. So all together we will win, all together we will continue on this path of peace, of freedom, of development for Venezuela. Happy, excited to meet with those people. Always loyal. Until victory, always.
Well, this is another show of strength, another show of power by the narco-tyranny. What do you think about this madness? Honestly, I think Nicolás Maduro and his people have hit rock bottom. These people are just ridiculous now, but honestly, at this point, it doesn't surprise me. We've seen this often with the elderly, especially grandparents. Let me share an anecdote. As you know, I live in Asia. Therefore, several of my acquaintances don't have much context about what's happening in Venezuela, about what's happening with the narco regime. And I ended up showing and teaching them videos of the elderly, of the grandparents fighting. No, you should have seen their faces. They couldn't believe it. I mean, they said, no, this is a joke. It's a parody. It can't be real. And I told them, no, of course it's real. This is Nicolás Maduro's army. This is the army of Venezuela. So just imagine, I mean, from the outside, you see the old folks armed. And it seems surreal. It just seems crazy. In the United States, people say Nicolás Maduro's training camp resembles a comedy sketch. Recent footage from Venezuela shows women stumbling awkwardly during military exercises, while Nicolás Maduro pretends to build an army to face the United States. The highlight is an elderly person puffing during a training exercise, which looks less like combat preparation and more like a gym class gone wrong. The truly disturbing thing is seeing Nicolás Maduro exploiting patriotic elderly people, making them serve a regime that is collapsing under its own weight. Experts say he's basically arming civilians as human shields. I totally agree with those experts. Meanwhile, his real army is collapsing and the United States is doubling the reward for his head. And they share these images with us here. I mean, the Americans say this looks like a comedy sketch. And yes, look, what Nicolás Maduro is doing is just pathetic now. Ladies and gentlemen, I would really like to know what you think, what your opinion is about all this. And I'll see you next time.